welcome to Project Noir. Before the episode begins today, I would like to thank Luton Urban Radio for allowing us to use their studio for this podcast. We've received many complaints in the past concerning our audio quality, but we can now assure you that we have top quality audio from here on out. Thank you once again to Luton Urban Radio. So, Project Noir,
You already know it, fam.
Today, I'm going to go straight into it. Today, we're talking about mental health. We're going to talk about how it's viewed by our community and how we can also change the way it's viewed in our community. Because I feel like a lot of people are suffering in silence. So I feel like today, we're going to address that and address everything concerning mental health. But today, we've got a special guest.
Hi guys, I'm Manisha, so I'm 19 years old. I go to Birmingham City University, and today I'll be talking about my mental health journey and my experience with like the NHS and things like that.
Yeah. Okay, so, I mean, just to get us on track, I just want to put it out there, open question. So, how do you guys deal with the stresses of life, and how do you ensure you don't fall into the point of no return when it comes to mental health?
Personally, I like to keep a journal. I used to have a bullet journal, but that's not really for me anymore. But I just buy an empty blank notebook and I make my own journal, and then I just try to write down what's happening each day, how I feel about the day, and I also try to just anytime I have some sort of issue or some sort of stress that I have, I think it's best for me to write about it. I also like to I used to paint when I used to work a job. I used to finish at night, and then when I finished the shift, because the job was really stressful, because I didn't even talk about the job, to be honest. But I used to paint after the shift. That was quite fun as well.
I didn't know that.
And it used to help me relax afterwards. And then sometimes I'll play basketball as well. So I think like sports are a really good outlet for me.
Yeah, for me it was probably sports as well, and mainly my PlayStation. Just having like an outlet somewhere where I can just not think about the stresses of life and just do my own thing. So,
I hear the PS4 one. I think I just chilling with the man, them cracking jokes and therefore release the stress sometimes.
That's mad. See, just like that, we've already been talking for like 30 seconds, and I'm already learning about you, man. That's something about man them that I feel like we just don't talk about it enough. That's why it's so nice for us to have these conversations. I didn't even know you paint in general, fam. So even more than that, I didn't know it was an outlet for you. You know what I'm saying? PS4 is the most toxic.
I know that.
But it helps.
it does.
I get angry at 2K, so I don't have to get angry at anything else. You know what I'm saying? That's how you put it out. So I know people do sports, obviously. A lot of people do boxing because of that sort of stuff. Like, they naturally have that sort of adrenaline or so they're naturally in that mindset, so they just go and blow steam by boxing and that. Even something like basketball that is non-aggressive, you know what I'm saying, you just get on the court by yourself, you start shooting, even if you're missing it, it's therapeutic. 100%. Or anyone else though, how do you do with your stuff?
I use music in it.
Big
music
one. You talking making music or
making and listening?
I mean, so do you feel like when you are making music, do you feel like your mental health, or do you feel like you rap about that sort of stuff or like talk about that sort of stuff?
Not really. It's just like kind of like motivation in a way.
Yeah.
Like lots of
creative,
like use it as creative outlet rather than like anger. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, turn the
more
energy
creative and
into
destructive.
On the creative side, I don't really do it now, but I used to kind of write as well. Just if I was feeling like really raw emotions, and I would just kind of write what was like kind of, I would say poetry, but it was more just like creative. Right?
Okay, one thing I do want to ask though, obviously, we've already said that we don't really go to the man them like enough, but when you do need someone, do you guys know who that person is? You know what I'm saying?
That's not my family.
I can't like we've had this conversation before in uni, and like all the men came together and kind of checked our mental health and that. So we really said to each other, we're going to make plans to talk to each other. So I think since then, I've definitely tried to open up more what's going on in my life. I think since then, it's getting easier. Because I think there's a bad habit with men not to be open about our feelings, not to express our feelings. I think in doing that, you're kind of ruining your mental health even more. So I think we need to change that whole mindset of, guys shouldn't even be upset, don't show your feelings, because that's ruining us even more. So I think even just talking to your guys, even little conversations, don't have to be deep, long, just talk about how are you, things like that, definitely help me.
So Misha, what would you say? How do you deal with like life and stress?
I cry. I cry a lot.
Crying is very healthy.
Yeah, I cry a lot, and I feel like I talk to, well, now I have a therapist, but before I've talked to my friends, but sometimes I feel like me, because of what I've been through, it's just too hard sometimes to talk to my friends about it. They don't understand it, so it's like, I don't want to offload on them, and obviously they might get upset, because sometimes it can be like a bit of like really depressing, I think.
Sometimes going to the wrong person can make things worse.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
definitely.
Because once you get deep in certain situations, like certain uncommon situations, someone's bad advice or it can just throw you off balance, man. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like there's a lot of people that they say that they want you to tell them that your struggles, but they're not really. It's not that they want you to tell your struggles so that they can help you, but rather it's just so that they can feel like appreciated, so that they can feel like that you're open to them, and then they think that they're ready to hear your issues, but really the weight of your issues might be far too much for them, and then then it gets to the point where I've heard a lot of people say stuff like, I don't know why he's telling me his issues, man, he needs to fuck off, and it's like, whoa, that you told that person that they can come to you, and now they're coming to you, you're acting like it's a burden. So I think a lot of people think that they can handle, because it is a weight that you take on when you hear somebody else's issues, but a lot of people don't realise that, and they think it's some sort of luxury when it's really not.
One question I did want to ask, someone that you go to confide in, do you think it matters the gender of that person? Because let's say you're a man,
definitely.
Do you think going to a woman about certain things?
It definitely, like, depending on the gender, generally it will affect the type of advice you get. I think women are more empathetic, and they're more like, if you was to open up, I feel like with a guy, say if I was to go to one of my male friends, I feel like I almost need to give them a warning that I'm about to offload something quite deep in a mood, whereas girls are more prepared for that, and they're more willing to deal with that. They'll be a bit less like, oh, this is, do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't say it matters, but I think you just have to be prepared to know that it's the reaction, the advice you get may vary depending on the gender that you go to.
I hear that.
Definitely.
Anyone else?
So it's definitely like perspective. Cause I know, for example, say that I had an issue about a certain topic, I might go to the guys about it, cause I know they might relate more to me. Do you understand? Or if it's more like an emotional family kind of thing, I'm like, cool, I might talk to her about, because she's more empathetic, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm not sure it really matters, but perspective is definitely a big thing when you ask for advice.
I feel like if you have a problem, and let's say if I had a problem and my problem was the way that a girl treated me, I'm more likely to ask girls, because I feel like if maybe there is a reason to why she's done that, and they can maybe help me understand that, and then I'll be like, okay, maybe I am overreacting, I need to take a step back. Whereas if I ask the guys about that, they're not girls to begin with, they wouldn't know like of any of the, they'd have an idea of how she's thinking, but only a girl really knows how a girl thinks, and then even better, only that person themselves know how they think. So yeah.
Okay, but at the beginning of the podcast, I must have asked you guys, how do you deal with life stresses? And you all talked about things actively that you do. So you talk about, I go play basketball or boxing, whatever you do, music, listen to music. One thing I do want to ask though is, when none of that shit is available, as in like, let's say you're about to sleep, you're not really going to hop on and play basketball when those thoughts come to mind. You're not going to put on music, because how are you going to sleep? Because you're trying to sleep. So how do you, instead of distracting yourself, what's your process of going through these things in your head, kind of soothing yourself, just so that you can even get some sleep or just get what you're trying to do done?
For me, when I think about those things late at night, it's not even like a soothing kind of thing. It's more like I'm processing what's happening, and I'm thinking, cool, what can I do to better the situation kind of thing. I think when it's just you and your thoughts, as much as you try to help yourself, you're kind of like burdening yourself with all these thoughts when there's other things not soothing you kind of thing. So I think it depends on the person. It's kind of hard to say, but it definitely depends on the person.
I think when it's me, if it's a case of I'm trying to sleep and something's weighing on my mind, I think, I'm not saying this is the right thing to do, but I'll probably try and deflect until the morning, and just my way of dealing with it, I'll probably throw on the Fresh Prince, just to try to distract my mind, something funny, light-hearted, that I can focus my mind on, just to get to sleep, and in the morning I'll try use my coping mechanisms to deal with the problem.
I like to look at it. I see it. I feel like when any issue that I've had any stresses and stuff that weigh on my mind. I feel like they're rather black and white for me. Like, it'll be a problem. So if the problem is weighing on my mind and I can't sleep because of it, I feel like I'm very likely to just, I won't sleep until I think up a solution. And if I can't think of a solution from my perspective, I try to take myself out of the situation and think about how I would deal with it if I was giving someone advice. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like that's the easiest way for me to deal with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm similar because I'm the type of person that I would say I'm mentally strong, and I thank God for that, because I don't know how I'd get through certain situations without that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm not the type that likes to go to people. Like, I'd rather sort out my own situation. So when it comes to thinking through your own problems and making solutions, is a powerful thing to be able to do, and it's definitely something that everyone needs to be able to develop. But have you got any advice to people who can't really think their own situations through, and they're trying to sleep, or they're trapped in their own thoughts?
I feel like the key thing, I feel like a very important step in solving any issue in life, really, especially your own, is it's very difficult. It's by no means easy, but I think you need to find a way to look at it but not let your emotions affect the way you perceive it. If you get what I mean? Because sometimes you can seriously be in the wrong, but you're so blinded by your own emotions that you are angry and you're trying to think of a solution, but because you don't think that you're the problem, you'll never see a solution. If you know what I mean? Yeah. It's hard. You have to like try and look at it from I guess like a morally correct,
like a neutral standpoint.
Yeah.
No, I do that. That's the thing. Yeah, that's me, man. Because I love to live life by principle, man.
Yeah.
You have to. Once you live life by principle, you take all the emotions out of everything. 100. More simpler. You know what I'm saying? Making decisions and that.
But no way is it easy. Like, we're not saying this like, oh, it's so easy to do. But if it is, everyone would do it. But it's definitely like something you need to learn and process by going through all this pain and hurt and whatever it is. You need to go through it and learn from it.
Yeah, 100%.
The types of mental illnesses are mood disorders, anxiety disorders, personality disorders, psychotic disorders, eating disorders, trauma-related, and substance abuse disorders, which I'm assuming is like drugs.
Yeah.
So after hearing those, one question I want to ask everyone is: are you healthy? You know what I'm saying?
No.
In terms of,
I want everyone to get real right now.
What's healthy though?
Mentally.
It's like mentally.
Do you suffer from anything there? Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Like, do you suffer anything there, or do you feel okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're alone, when you're trapped in your own thoughts, are you calm?
Yeah, I'd say
I'm calm.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Me personally, I suffer from anxiety. My anxiety can get really bad sometimes, like really bad, to like hurtful thoughts. So like February times, I was having suicidal thoughts, and it wasn't. And this is at uni time. I was at uni, and it wasn't for my flatmate. She came in for my room for some like random reason, and I was just crying. My eyes were red, and I was like, I don't want to be here no more. It's just getting too much to me. Even talking about it now, like I'm kind of shaking because like But yeah, so I suffer from that. But the things I haven't been like diagnosed. It's not like, oh, you have anxiety. It's not my doctor's note, but I know I have anxiety. My mum knows I have anxiety. I've had panic attacks. I've had times where I've been at college and I've broken my toe because of a panic attack because it just gets too much. There's been times at night where I can't sleep. I'm shaking. It's just been horrible. I wake up in panic attacks. Like, yeah, my anxiety takes over a lot. It's scary.
But how do you feel like you battle through it though? How do you make it through day to day? I say first talk about your anxiety, and then how do you make it through suicidal thoughts?
So with my anxiety, it depends. Like, it gets worse. So like, for example, like January times, like uni was hard for me, and then like there was a death, like a family friend passed away, and like it was me. I thought everything. I cried about everything. I couldn't cry, and it was like as well when I went to uni because my brother passed away. He when I was 9 years old, he committed suicide. He had mental health as well. So, and he was like my best friend, and then I didn't come to terms with him passing away. And then when I went to uni, I felt like I was further away from him, so I was grieving him more. It's like he died like yesterday, and I'll be thinking like, why would he leave me? Like, why would he do this? I don't understand why he'd leave me. So I went back now February times thinking that I was a big strong black girl. I can do this because black girls are supposed to be strong. All of this, black boys are supposed to be strong. So I was like, yeah, I can do this, it'll be fine. And then one day I just crashed. I went to uni, went to a lecture, and I walked out for like an hour, and I went to the toilet and I just cried, and my friends came and got me and like, you need to go home. And I sat in my room and I just thought, I was like, I don't want to be here no more. I want to be with my brother. I want to be with him. Like, this, what am I here for? What am I living for? I don't understand. Like, why am I here? Uni's hard. I can't even do uni. Having panic attacks. I'm crying all the time. Like, I feel numb. I don't cry about anything. I want to be with him. And then, like I said, thank God my flatmate came in, and then she saw me upset. And I even called my mum. I was like to my mum, I was like, I don't want to be here no more. What do I do? Like, what do I do? And then each of my family members, so my sister-in-law called me and got my nephew on the phone, and he kept saying like, Auntie Nisha, and I was like, I'm only here for you, like, I'm here for you because I don't know what I'm living for anymore. And then thank God, I say lockdown saved my life. If it wasn't for lockdown, I don't know where I would be right now. Lockdown saved my life. Lockdown stopped everything. It stopped, I could sit down, I could like get like my bearings back together again. I could like focus about things, and like even doing uni work at home was hard. It was very, very hard, and like moving back and stuff. And there's days where I was crying, there's days I don't want to do it, there's days I wanted to drop out of uni when I was at home, and like just other pressures as well. But I kept going, and there's one thing my mum has, this group that she joins. It's called Simply D's Events, guys. But yeah, it's a group she does, and like it was on a Zoom call. And then there was a therapist in there, and she was like, yeah, I deal with anxiety, like CBT therapy and things like that. And I've been on the waiting list for the NHS for about, they said 6 to 8 weeks, I think, 6 to 8 weeks to get CBT. And I was thinking, but I come to you from uni, like, I came to you, I said to you, I feel like this, I feel like rubbish, I need something to help my anxiety, I don't want to come to uni no more. And you're saying to me 6 to 8 weeks for the NHS. So I was like, okay. But yeah, the therapist was like, oh, we get in contact with me. But at first I was scared. I was like, me, therapy, talk about my problems, don't know what I'm going to do, like, I don't want to do it. But I took the big leap and I did it, and I'm still doing it now, and it's helped me so much. I didn't know that I had so much, like, I want to say blockage.
Like built up.
Yeah, so much built up, built up stuff. It was just crazy. There's still things that trigger me today, but now I know how to do it better. Like I meditate, I do yoga, say my affirmations, I read. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that first step of going to therapy, it's the hardest step. But since from there will be much easier. I think it's the fear of someone else telling you, like, more of a confirmation that you are going through this thing. So you don't want to hear that, oh, I'm depressed or I have anxiety. You don't want to hear that. So it's kind of the fear of that.
Yeah, she said to me, one thing she said to me is love your anxiety, like love it. She's like, talk to your anxiety every day, say you love your anxiety. But over me, because I'm obviously being a black girl and having mental health, that is so weird. It's such a taboo. It's like another layer, yeah. It's like, what, you have anxiety? Oh my god! And some random like run away from it. If you tell a man you got anxiety, they'll be like, you have anxiety. Like I don't like going on dates because I'm scared to go on dates. Like I physically, like my jaw like locks up. Like I can't do it. Like to eat in front of another man that I like, it just, even talking about it now, I'm shaking. I just hate it. Like just little things. I think about everything as well. So like I feel like if someone was to talk to me, they need to know that my anxiety, like I would say it's a third person, because it's a lot to take on. Yeah. It's a lot to take on.
I feel like a lot of guys, I've heard them, they do this sort of thing where it's like they'll know that they're about to talk to a girl with anxiety, and it's like in their head they'll start thinking, oh, she must be crazy or stuff like that. And it's like, or maybe she just needs help. You know what I mean? And it's very easy, because obviously if you just start talking to a girl, she lets you know, oh, I've got anxiety and stuff like that. It's very easy for you to just be like, yeah, okay, I'm out, and just leave. I'm not saying that you have to. You might not be ready to hear all her problems and take that on. That's fair enough. But I feel like the way that you dismiss them should be done with
compassion,
and care. Because otherwise it's just not good.
But even then you could do it with compassion and care, but with a girl with anxiety, she overthinks everything.
That's true.
Everything. You overthink everything. It's disgusting. I hate it so much. Even my friend, like, I'll tell her what I'm thinking. She'll be like, you're overthinking it. And I'm like, no, but think about this. You could be thinking this, that. Like, you overthink everything. Like, we're just so sensitive about everything. Yeah. But then some days we're numb and we don't feel nothing. So this is the comparison's a bit mad. It's a bit mad. That's why I wanted to, like, I was thinking of going on antidepressants to, like, make me feel a bit, I don't know, like, I didn't want to feel anything at one point. I just wanted to just get on with my day. And then everyone was saying to me, you got antidepressants, like, when do you come off it? And you're so young as well to be on antidepressants. But I was like, I don't know what to do, like, I don't know, and I can't keep using alcohol, because at one point I was always drunk at uni. Always. I was drinking Ray and Nephew like it was water. I was like, let me just drink Ray and Nephew, I'll be fine. I used to, like, try and laugh and, like, laugh it off and be like, yeah, I'm good. But no, really and truly, I was hurting so much hurt. So much.
I think that's the problem with, like, substance abuse, because once people use, like, one thing to help them so much with all this pain, what happens when that doesn't work anymore? Yeah. That's why people get onto harder drugs, and it continues, and just like a crash kind
of.
Like
when you get used to being Yeah.
It's
No,
like only so far it can numb you.
yeah. And you get used to being that level of
Because it's not like the
numbing
pain's
being
going
come
away.
on.
The pain's still there, but
Yeah.
you're numb to it. You understand? So that when that numbness is gone, people are so quick to go get it again, and again and again, and get harder ones keeps going.
Yeah, people with mental health. I feel like, okay, I shouldn't say it's a big statement, but I feel like weed for our generation, especially at uni, is a big thing.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a big thing.
Definitely.
It's a bit scary, and like, it just makes you feel like numb. Like I feel like weed makes everyone just feel
You don't
numb.
really get
and
anywhere.
just not,
With weed, my thing with weed is that not only does it like affect your mind, but it's kind of like the things that come with it besides the drug, as in the addiction, the sort of like reliance on it, like whenever you're feeling stressed out, whenever you're feeling this,
It's like you're dependent on it.
Yeah,
you
just
know,
like
like
make you
you'll
feel
be
better.
dealing with something for the whole week, and then when you finish on a Friday, you just go and like try and get a zoo or something. Like, it's like reliance on it. You know what I'm saying? That's I feel like that's a very damaging to you anyway. If you're like going through a lot of stuff already and you're like just relying on weed, it's very damaging to your mental state anyway.
So
Yeah,
true.
definitely. I know that like a lot of people that came to uni, they it's like they got there, as you were saying, like, people our age, they're like, well, I say they like weed. Weed is like it's a really easy thing for them to turn to. I know a lot of people. I think we all know a lot of people where like before uni they might have. They weren't against drugs, but they weren't really with it like that. And then literally come straight after uni, you come back for the summer holidays, come back for Christmas or whatever, and suddenly it feels like everyone and anyone is doing drugs. Yeah, everyone's turning to something, and I feel like a lot of people became. They started feeling some type of way when they got to university because it's a big change. It's a massive change.
They don't even prepare you about the biggest change. Like, you have to cook. You come home, you have to cook for yourself. Then you have to do your own washing. Then you got to change your bed sheets. And like, especially if I can't speak now. Especially if you're someone who had it all done for you. I'm not saying I did, but you know, it had a bit easier. You have to clean all the time. And then to go to uni to go and do that, and then go to lectures and then socialise with people, staying up to like 5 in the morning, just so you don't miss out on stuff. It's a lot of stuff. That's why people would obviously turn to drugs to kind of like balance it all out. But it's a lot. Like it's actually
it's mad because you're more alone than you've ever been.
Oh,
Definitely.
So lonely.
Real talk,
You're trapped in your own mind. That's what I'm saying. That's why mental health, like.
Because my thing
builds
at
up
uni,
during
like I got my guys, but they're very different from like you guys and my friends here, just because of the guys they probably grew up with. So a lot of the time, like I might have views, or I might want to do things that they don't really get or they're not really on, and that's cool. But because I can't really express myself to them, I just got to keep it there.
Yeah, I hear that.
And either keep it to myself or wait till I come back to Luton and just vent to my friends or whatever. So it's like sometimes I'm with people, but I'm in my own head.
Definitely.
It's like you're not present.
It does get me.
You can be lonely with other people.
Definitely. I remember the first week we got to uni. The first time I made friends at uni, I was there for 2 days. It was like 11 p.m. and I was so bored, and like I was on my own because I got there really late, so I didn't even get to meet anyone in my halls.
That's hard.
And then the guy that lived across me, Luke, it was late as well. Obviously, I didn't really meet him then, so I didn't really know him in it, so it was a bit awkward for me to like go and chat and whatnot. So it's like 11 o'clock. I just got dressed and I went out on a walk, just in the middle of the night, just walking for bare time, fam. Luckily, I bumped into some guys that I saw at one of the basketball tryouts, and they were like, "Oh, do you want to come here?" And we went to like meet some other people, but I might have not met them, and I'd just be like, just still as I am on my own.
You know what? That's like me. I there was a group chat, and I just by chance I saw that it was an ACS group chat, and just by chance I saw I could join. So I joined, and there was a guy that I started speaking to, and then he lived in the same building as me. Yeah. But I know, and from that, and most of the friends I made because he was like really out there. He went to meet other people. But I know me now. If I didn't start talking to him on a group chat first, I would not be as heavily involved with uni as I am now. Because I'm not the type of person to put myself out there. It's the fact that I met someone by chance. He doesn't mind putting himself out there, wanting to get to know everyone. And through him, I've made other friends. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like because uni is like so lonely, I feel like the mental health service is not like very accessible. Is it accessible? Is that the word?
Accessible.
Yeah, accessible. Yeah. Like for me, I had to I had to get up, like, okay, so my mum kept saying to me, I was saying to my mum, I'm anxious, don't want to go to uni. And she was like, oh, just go to reception. I was like, reception where? She's like, go to reception, tell them you want to go to the mental health person. And I was like, but how do you do that? How you can tell someone with anxiety doesn't want to go to uni? He finds it hard to open the door to leave. To go and tell them to go to reception and speak to someone. And then to go and make an appointment and then go to the appointment. I was just like, how do I do that? She's like, no, you can do it. And I was like, I can't do it. But I finally did do it. And even when I did do it, like, the woman was just there like, well, there's a waiting list. Oh, there's this. What is this? There's that. Oh, we can call Samaritans and talk to them. And I'm like, okay, cool, thank you. Okay, bye. And left, and that was it. I
feel like something that my uni does really well, which obviously for people who don't want to leave the house is important. They have this thing that it's like, I think it runs during the night. I think it might run during the day as well. But it's like a hotline.
Oh, that's good.
And you can just call it, I think their slogan is like, we won't lecture you, we won't scold you or anything. You can just talk to us about your problems and we'll listen. And I think that's a really important first step, because obviously anyone that's going through anything, I go through stuff. I don't like telling people about my stuff. I like to sort it out myself, and that's only because
you should speak about your stuff. Don't
you know?
Because the thing is, I know it's not easy, but I wish. If my brother was alive today, I wish I could. I feel like I wish I was older so that I can maybe pick up what he was going through, and say to him, because even like the last day I saw him, he was just happy. He was just like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I'll see, I'll buy you a birthday present and whatever. And then to hear he did that, it was like, what? I was like, what do you mean he's committed suicide? What do you mean? And even my mum was saying, the first thing I thought of was you, because he loved you so much. And I didn't understand that. And even, oh my god, I'm getting emotional. Even like now, I don't know what to say.
The only reason I don't tell people about my problems is because so far I haven't met a problem so great that I can't solve it myself. So that's probably the only reason that I keep it quiet. But obviously there's a lot of people out there, like, even I don't like talking about problems. No one likes to talk about their problems. And it's hard for me to then, especially so now I have to leave my house, I have to go see someone who doesn't know me, they don't know anything I'm about, and tell them
like me.
They probably don't look like me, and I have to just pour out everything to them face to face. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell? But then obviously with the hotline, it's anonymous. Obviously they're not gonna remember who you are, and it's a start, because not everyone might want to keep a diary, not everyone might want to write things down and stuff like that. So I think it helps having stuff like that, like a hotline where you could just speak anonymously, get things off your chest. At least you're telling someone, because it's nice. It might not be necessarily that you want to talk, but it's more that you want someone to listen. So
talking is a big help. But I think with men, it's because from young we've been told,
you gotta be strong.
You gotta be strong.
You're a big strong boy.
Boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. We don't cry. Them kind of things there. So things that we've grown up and brought up in that kind of environment. So now it's got to a certain age where I've stacked up so many little stuff that I could have dealt with if I even spoke to someone, but I didn't. Kept them all to myself, and it gets powered up into a little point where you can reach breaking point. You can actually reach breaking point. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be little situations gradually. So I think, as you said, talking, the hotline is a big. People don't think, when I'm going to talk to someone I don't know, what's that going to help? But in talking, you're venting, you're letting it out. You understand? So talking is really cool.
Do you feel like coming from an African and Caribbean background, do you think it's harder to talk about mental health with your parents?
I feel like I've got quite patient parents.
I was going to say,
on the whole, I think it's extremely difficult, because a lot of them, they don't understand it, which is one thing, but it's the main thing is they're not willing to understand it. Do you know what I mean? And I think 100%. It's crazy, because I think everyone at some point in their life deals with a mental health issue to some degree. So they probably even understand what you're going through to some degree, but they don't want to address it because they probably had to deal with their parents saying just deal with it. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just lucky I was blessed that my mum's a counsellor, so she knows the kind of stuff that she knows the kind of stuff that teenagers may be going through. But for example, my grandma, who was brought up in Zim and that African culture, like fully. Do you think she even knows what depression is? What mental health is?
One of my closest friends, I'm not gonna name her, but she was telling me before, can't remember how long ago, a few weeks ago, she was telling me about how she was venting to me and saying, because I always say to her whenever we need to speak, come speak to me. She has depression, anxiety and suicidal thoughts. She always comes speak to me in it whenever. I'm just like, call me or whatever, text me, speak to me. She comes and speaks to me, and one time I asked her, I was like, so all of this, like, do your parents know about it? And she was like, she spoke to them, she said to them, she's from Zim, so she spoke to her parents and she said to her mum, she said, I have this, that, and the other, whatever. And the first time she said it to her, her mum was like, "Oh, you're too young for that. Like, what do you mean? That's something older people experience. You haven't even been through that." And then when I heard that, I was kind of like, "Wow, that's actually how some people were like are brought up that way. That like you can only experience mental health when you're older. Like, it's not something a young person would experience."
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
See, for me, when it comes to the African perspective of things, I'm gonna take it even a different route. I feel like for me, you know how it's me. I like to solve my own problems. I feel like that's because in my family, it's like we all operate on our own. You know what I'm saying? Like, my other brother called Spencer. You know, the other day, I spoke to Spencer, proper full-on conversation for the first time. This was like 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we've spoken, obviously, just talked or whatever. But for the longest time, we spoke on, I think it was a couple of Saturdays ago. So I feel like it's the way that we were brought up here, so separated. As in, we're all in the same house in this, but we're all so separate. I feel like that's what, I feel like to an extent I raised myself. You know what I'm saying? So mentally I raised myself. Mentally I've grown myself since I was a child. Yeah, so I feel like that's why I don't really reach out to people, and I don't really need to reach out to people. It's because I can do it because I've been doing it. Yeah. But one thing I do want to say to everyone though is definitely check on people. You know what I'm saying? Because even me, when you check up on me, I'm not gonna vent out to you, but I will tell you if I'm calm or not. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate that being check up on. So that's what I'm saying. Everyone definitely check up on your friends, even if they're not your friends. Random people, I post random people some days. You know what I'm saying? Just to see how they're going.
Because that message could save their life.
You know what I'm saying?
That one little message. It wasn't for my flatmate coming in. I don't know where. That's what I'm saying. Today.
You never talk what someone's going through. Man.
Well, I think like me when I came back from uni, I was mentioning one of my guys, and this guy, I'm gonna mention names, but he was the hardest in school. Understand? Like people knew he was the hardest in school. No one could ever say nothing to him. Like he was that guy. Understand? And when he came up to me, he's like, "Bro, I've been going to the madness." He said he's been cutting himself. He said me this, that, other guy even talked to his mum and dad's relationship and his parents been down. He's telling me, I was like, "Oh, right, how long have you been like this?" He telling me since primary. I think since primary all the way to the high school, even the hardest guy, and I didn't even know. And I was thinking like it could really be anybody. Yeah. Like, he's the last person I could ever think could be ever even doing something remotely close to that. But it can be anybody. So I'll urge everyone, even if you don't think they're going through it, there might be just that one message. How are you? How's been things going? Something like that. I'm here for you.
So true.
And even on that, sometimes it's not even about them venting to you because they might not feel comfortable. Sometimes it's just the message itself saying, "How are you?" or "How are you?"
Just knowing that they're not going through it by themselves.
Yeah, it's knowing that somebody cares. Because someone could say, I could be going through someone could say to me, "How are you?" and I'll say I'm fine, even though I might not be fine. It's just about the message, knowing that someone cares to ask how you are. That's what helps them.
So true.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Another thing, even you just message them. Obviously, from your close friends, there's still some people that you wouldn't not really reach out to, but you wouldn't vent to them. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't go into detail about your situation, but you messaging them could show them, you know what? Even if we're not going to talk about mental health, let's talk about something. You know what I'm saying? Let's just get your mind off things. Because one thing I do want to say, when it comes to you, man, my guys, I only learned last year how much you man mean to me, fam. Like genuinely, fam. Nah, I can't even lie. It was around. Cause let me tell you something. From when I turned 18 to when I turned 19, that was the worst. That was the worst year of my life. 100% was the worst year of my life. And there's a thing where I started so high because the day before my 18th birthday, that was my Cambridge interview. I was top of the world, fam. You know what I'm saying? I was top of the world. And then straight from my 18th birthday, some mad shit happened, fam. You know what I'm saying? And that whole year, shit was just fucking up. So obviously, I'm born in December. From December to July, I'm just going through everything. Obviously, I'm dealing with it myself, but still, it's definitely a way. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't hear that from me, but it's a thing where July hit rock bottom, fam. Like July was bad. July was the first time I logged out of all socials and just wasn't on anything. And obviously, me, I'm the type of person who likes to be productive. My laptop broke in May.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? My laptop broke in May. I didn't have that. That's my tool. You know what I'm saying? My laptop is my tool for me to go and do things, to take my mind off things. I didn't have that tool there. You know what I'm saying? The person who I'd usually go to about things, they were the main problem. You know what I'm saying? So So it's a thing where July, I have no one. This sort of thing, But in July is when we did our first games night.
Oh yeah.
Bro. I can't tell you how much that meant to me, fam. I can't lie to you. Everyone at my house just having fun, fam. You know what I'm saying? Because I was even logged out of Snap when we had that games night. You know
for those who don't know what games night is, literally a day where all the man them just go to Prince's yard, just have a good time, just chill, vibes, jokes, play games.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a man them day.
It was so fun. We did it twice, you know. We did it twice in 2 weeks. That's what I'm saying. That really showed me how close you, how much you man mean to me, yeah. But then it also reached the time, yeah, where you man went uni. Because I'm on a gap year, so I was stuck in Luton and everyone's out doing their thing. Everything came up again. You know what I'm saying? I'm now trapped in my thoughts again until lockdown. That's why I was interested in you about lockdown. Lockdown did so much for me, fam. I can't lie to you. I'm not the type that will go do up suicide like that. I thank God that sort of thing will never be in my mind. But it's a thing where lockdown, we're now playing 2K, we're now calm. Obviously I'm calm now. Like, I can tell you, man, I'm actually calm now. But it's a thing where you man coming back and playing 2K with one PS4 all the time, it meant so much.
Little things like
little things.
You man took my mind of things.
There was a period of time where, cause like I said, I play a lot of PlayStation, and like a lot of my boys, like my other set of friends, they were like, a lot of them like they work because they're doing trades, so they didn't really have time for PlayStation and that. And like you said, I was going through like a rough patch in life, and so they would come home from work, you know, they're tired, they can't really come on. So I'd be on by myself, and me saying it at some points, I would be like, I'm just being selfish. Like, they're working, I want to play PlayStation. Do you know what I mean? That's, you know, but like, and when eventually they did come back, and I was having a good time again. Do you know how much it meant to me? Like, it's the little things that mean so much to certain people, and they can help so much. And I don't think that my problem is a lot of those little things that help me, because I'm like, I'll tell myself, oh, it's a first world issue, or it's not a big deal. I'll kind of, the things that can help me, I'll be like, oh, stop being silly, and I'll stop myself from helping myself. Right. So I hear exactly what you're saying, Prince.
That's why every day I try to make someone's day every day. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who it means something to, man.
That's true. You need to surround yourself with the people who have the right energy. Like, it's so important. Like, you have that one friend that's just talking bad about people. Just like, I don't need this in my life. Like, why are you talking bad about them? Oh yeah, but this, that. I mean, you can gossip. People do gossip, but you know that one person that's just negative all the time, and it's so draining. You're like, gee, I don't need this. I really don't need this, because you need people who can lift you higher and be like, you can do this. Because like, there's this one friend I have, and like, we're close, but like, some days it's just so negative. Like, or like, and like with me, like, I like for example, I don't be out with the person so much, but yeah, just like little things. Like, for example, I'll be like, oh, these shoes make, just a silly thing, like this shoes makes my leg look dark or something, and me, I'm quite conscious about my skin colour, especially when I go on holiday and stuff because of tanning. And then they'll be like, oh, but that's your business. I'm like, why would you not say, oh, maybe change, or, you know, how would I have a positive outlook on it? And I'll get upset, and like, I'll like hang up the phone, call my other friend and be like, oh, can you imagine they said this? And she'll be like, don't overthink it, like, just chill, innit? I'm like, yeah, but why would you say that? Why would you not lift me, try and lift me higher? Because now I'm just overthinking everything and thinking that I look like this. So it's just like, yeah, so surround yourself with people who can lift you higher. Nah, you guys are really quite close. On
the topic of being positive, do you guys know what toxic positivity is?
Toxic positivity. Speaking, explain.
So basically, it's the idea that we should only focus on positive emotions and positive aspects of life, and that if we ignore difficult emotions and the parts of our life that aren't working as well, we'll be a lot happier. And the thing is, it's kind of like, for example, let me give you an example. If I was to come to one of you guys and say, oh, I'm feeling this way, or I'm feeling that way about something, or I don't want to be here anymore, and then someone was to be like, to me, rather than listening to me, someone's just trying to shut me down and be like, oh, but there's so much more you can do. You can do this, you can do that. Be happy, pray. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, it's like rather than listening to what someone's trying to say to them, you're kind of shutting them down. You're kind of like, you're taking away their vent, and they've come to you to speak to you about something they're going through, and you're taking away their outlet.
Yeah, it's almost like gaslighting, isn't it?
Yeah.
See that gaslighting thing.
Yeah, it hits me all the time. As soon as I learnt what the word meant properly, I realised how much people do it to me. And it's so damaging.
Explain what it is.
It's when someone kind of, like, if you go to someone with a problem and they kind of try to, like almost convince you it's not your reality when it is.
Oh, how can you have anxiety when you're so positive? You're so
it's
confident.
so dangerous.
It's like when you say if someone says something, you kind of like convince them that it's kind of not their fault, but it's kind of like not what they're saying is. You know what I'm saying? It's like if someone was to say to you, if someone was to say, my life's pretty shit right now, everything's going bad, etc., etc., and they were to be like, maybe your life's not bad, maybe you're just doing the wrong things. It's kind of like you're building up something inside of someone else for no reason when they've come to vent to you.
I feel like something else that's dangerous is like when people. I feel like one thing you shouldn't do when someone tries to tell you about their problem is compare it to any of yours.
Yeah.
Even if you've gone through the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Because really and truly, it's almost like the moment you say, "Oh yeah, I remember when I was going through that," you make it look like, "Oh, I was able to get through it." Why haven't you gotten through it yet? It might not be what you mean. It definitely probably isn't what you mean. But it's just something that you shouldn't do.
Comparisons to anything, because I know something I used to do to people that came with me with problems. I'd be like, I understand, but there's people out there that are starving. And I read an article, and that is so bad. Because again, like with the gaslighting, it's like you're trying to convince them that their issues, they're not real issues, they don't mean anything, and they're just going to compress the issues, and the issues are going to explode one day. So even I've learned that I was being a bit toxic when trying to help people unintentionally, but still,
Okay, one place I do want to take us though before we finish. In terms of this generation, I assume we're the generation that has the worst mental health.
Yeah,
100%. Like throughout the history, people our age haven't had mental health this bad. One thing I do want to ask you guys then is, do you think that we're doing too much too young? Because if you look at our problems, some of them are from relationships. Some of them are from pressure to get money, pressure to get to some point in our career.
I think all of that stems from social media.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Social media is one of the worst things that could have happened to us.
But the thing is, it's one of the worst, but it's also one of the best things.
It's how we use it. Like social media isn't a bad thing. Like it's amazing, but it's how we go about it. Because we tend to compare our lives to other people. At the same time, people don't show their struggles.
Because I feel like when with the relationship and things like that you were saying, I reckon a lot of that young relationship. I reckon a lot of that was happening anyway with other generations. But I just think social media just brings everything to light. So things you didn't know other people were doing, your age, people are doing it, so you might be like, why am I not doing it? Or you might be thinking, we're the same age, I should be doing this, I'm not doing this, and you're constantly comparing, and you're having a bad day, but everyone on Instagram's having a good day. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, I think social media is a catalyst for a lot of problems.
Because people can smile on the camera and not be happy inside. But
they won't show you their pain.
I feel social media is damaging. I think it's the most damaging, toxic thing ever, and I hate it. I don't like influencers. I feel like they show a fake reality, and it makes girls be like, "Oh my god, now I've got to wear Palm Angel and turn my back to the world, or Off-White and all of this, and now I've got to get this." It's just so damaging. It's like you don't need to be that person. You don't need to have designer. You don't need to be drippy. It's
the
like,
problem is,
because you're killing yourself to get there.
A lot of people don't realise, like I said with the critical thinking thing in another podcast, like a lot of people, they're involved with, they're caught up in all of this, the social media, like you said, with the drip and having to always look a certain way. But because they don't realise they're just perpetuating like the issues onto other people and within themselves even more, and they're not even stopping to think like, I'm chasing all these things because other people have them, because I see it, when they're struggling to get it for the same reason I'm struggling to get it, just for quick gratification and to show off. And and I'm a victim of it. I do it to this day. I still do it. I'm trying to be better. The bare minimum for me is being aware of the fact that I'm involved and I'm caught up in it as well. But
see, because the reason I do bring up the whole too young thing is, you know, when it comes to relationships, because you mentioned that people have been in young relationships for a while, but I feel like what you need to realise, the difference with our generation is, obviously we have phones, we're always on the internet, this, that, the other. You're with your partner basically all day. You know what I'm saying? There's a constant like connection with your partner all day, whereas in older generations it wasn't like that. So now it becomes with us here. If your partner's having a bad day, you're having a bad day.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You now have become one person. That's why there's more people having bad days. That's what I'm saying. So I just wanted to, I just wanted to add that in. Yeah,
I didn't even think about that. That's true.
Just think about it from that point of view.
Just think about it.
But yeah, I think we'll close up soon. But one thing I did want to say, Kamal's dad walked in. I just want to thank him because he is the reason we have amazing audio quality today. But I do actually have a question concerning dads. It's a thing where a lot of us don't live with our dads. A lot of us don't. A lot of us don't live with our dads. So I want to ask, like, how do you think that affects you, or you, Kamal, or Andrick? How do you think having your dad around affects you? How does that affect your mental health?
It's a simple beauty, because just my dad being there and doing dad things, like it's hard because, like, obviously I haven't been in a position where I haven't had my dad there, but I can see from people that don't have the dad there that I've had to kind of teach themselves things that my dad could just teach me just by being a dad. How, like, it's like almost like a privilege. Do you know what I mean? It's like people that don't have their dad there had to work harder to get certain values and teach themselves things that I just had instilled for me from young just by having my dad there. So it's a simple but massive privilege, I would say. That I take for granted, to be honest.
Because like me, so obviously I never grew up with my father. So I think, obviously when my mother came to this country to go to university, so like me, her and my older brother. So my grandma had to leave everything behind and come to look after me when she was going to work and stuff. I think it was only in maybe secondary school, primary school, I first realised, like, hold on, I don't have a dad kind of thing. Like, the first hit, because I grew up without a father for so long, so it's normal to me. Like, I mean, like, it was standard. I had no father figure, I was just a hard-working mum. So I think it was my first parents even, actually. I saw people with two parents. I sat there, I was thinking, that's weird. Like, why the two people there? Or even saw like a dad there. I think I even went home that night. I said to mum, why isn't dad here? Did that whole kind of conversation of what's been happening and thing. And I think I'm lucky that I like to think of myself as a mentally strong person, because the amount of stuff that I've been through without a father figure, kind of learn things yourself, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's been definitely hard. But yeah.
Because a bulk of my problems are in relationships with people, whether it's a girlfriend relationship or it's a friend relationship. I feel like when you have a dad, you can see kind of how to navigate a relationship.
That's what I'm saying. Even without asking sometimes.
You know what I'm saying?
Because the thing is, because I'm 17, my dad will have been 17 before, so everything I've been through, he's been through it, like, to some extent. You see what I'm saying? So he's someone you can relate to.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Because one thing that even came to my mind when we started talking about this is, how will we know how to be a father in the future, fam?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
You have to teach yourself how to be a man.
I feel like the stress of things and the stress of raising a baby without having a father around, the stress of raising a baby, raising a child the right way, are you doing it right? I feel like that may get to your mental as well. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I do think about that a lot.
You see what I mean?
You
may be stressed thinking,
I'll be stressed, but I can kind of reference back to seeing what my dad did. You see? Whereas it's kind of, for people without a father figure, they're kind of just playing it blind and they're just hoping they're doing the right things, you know what I mean?
So it won't even just be like being a father figure, because having a dad will show you how to be a husband as well. You see? Understand? Yeah. There's a lot more to that.
Yeah.
Because somebody even explained to me that it's amazing that, okay, I'm not going to blow my own whistle on it, but she said it was amazing that I've been such a good boyfriend so far. Because I've never seen a relationship that close to me. I've never really seen a good relationship. You know what I'm saying? So it never really deets to me until the person pointed out, and I was like, oh, what? I swear. That is actually kind of mad. If no one else has anything to add, I think we're done.
That was a deep one.
I say before we close off, definitely give it to Manisha. You have the floor. Whatever you want to say, whether it's advice, whether it's
story, whatever
things you want to tell them. Just tell the average listener whatever they're here for.
Okay. So, guys, I just want to say, well, black girls mainly, it's actually like, it's okay. Don't suffer in silence. Get help. Please get help. Speak to someone. Don't think your problem's too small. I mean, personally, I use my student finance to pay for my therapy. if it wasn't for that, my student finance, I don't think I can afford therapy because it's expensive. But it's honestly, it's actually worth it. There's a black therapist website out there where you can talk to a black therapist if you want to and book an appointment with them. My therapist is white, but she's honestly she understands everything. But yeah, just look after yourself, look after your mental health. If you guys ever need to speak to me about mental health, add up my socials. But yeah.
What are your socials?
My socials.
Show them your
So my Snapchat is Manisha13, and then my Instagram is __MXNISHA.
Some hard names there.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah. But yeah, reach out to me, guys. Yeah, just don't suffer in silence, please. And if you're going to uni as well this year, don't suffer. Yeah, take time.
It's a big change.
You don't need to you don't need to jump on what everyone's doing.
Exactly.
Take at your own pace, your own choice.
There's going to be people doing the madness.
Truth
They've
yourself.
been
That's
doing the
one big
madness.
thing. Yeah, keep to yourself, and don't drink so much. Just don't drink so much. One thing.
I don't drink.
Don't drink so much.
You don't. You're saving yourself so much money, fam. I see people splashing.
I see people going out and I'm seeing big bottles.
Yeah, big bottles.
And buying like queues of weed and things
I know
like
it's
that.
definitely more expensive than Fanta.
Yo, bring my supermarket, fam.
Yeah, supermarket's the way.
Yuck.
Bro.
I just sit there down at Red Bull, fam.
Just in the corner.
You're having a different kind of vibe. I'm glad we're getting on and off, man.
Yeah.
So everyone, I hope you've taken something from today. But yeah, I think we're done.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Big up you guys doing your thing, like.
Big up the Nisha, big up the Nisha.
That guys talk about mental health, like our rate as well is a bit mad, like you're big on it. I'm really proud of you guys.
Appreciate it.
See you there, guys.
Thanks for listening.